We've been working on this for 22 years. I've been on this case since 2012.
What's that?
Put your hands like this for me real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
What's going on, sir?
I'll explain that in a second, okay?
Okay.
This is 70-year-old Roxanne Collins. For 22 years, she lived as a grieving widow, quietly growing old while the brutal execution of her husband faded into the past. But cold cases don't stay buried forever. By 2003, David Vanderzee appeared to be entering a new chapter of his life. Just 2 months before his death, he had married Roxanne Collins and was looking forward to the future they would build together. On the evening of September 22, 2003, that new beginning came to a violent end. That night, David was inside his home when someone entered the residence. What happened next was both brutal and calculated. David was shot 5 times in the head at close range. Investigators later determined that most of the shots had come from behind, suggesting he may never have seen the attack coming. Not until May 28, 2025, more than 22 years after David Vanderzee was killed, detectives made their move. Roxanne Collins was driving in Illinois when a deputy initiated what appeared to be a routine traffic stop. She likely had no idea that detectives had been waiting years for this moment.
Hello.
I'm sorry, officer.
Oh, you're fine. You have a license and proof of insurance on you?
I do, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm Deputy Wegner of the McHenry County Sheriff's Office. There's a couple reasons to stop you. You just never used your turn signal. From the whole time I saw you, when you turned out of your neighborhood and then turned left and then changed lanes and all that.
I got a lot on my mind. I'm on my way to get my oil changed. My home, so I'm worried about leaving him now.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
No worries. That's just why I stopped you. Just didn't use it at all.
Okay. So there's my insurance.
Okay, thank you.
And you want my license?
Yes, please.
Okay. Here you go.
Thank you.
Look closely at her demeanor. She plays the role of a confused, innocent elderly woman flawlessly. She even smiles and makes small talk about changing her car's oil. But the police weren't there for a turn signal. Detectives informed her that she was being arrested for first-degree intentional homicide in connection with David's death. During the encounter, she repeatedly asked questions about the warrant and eventually requested an attorney.
So, you mind just going like this with your hands for me real quick?
What's that?
Put your hands like this for me real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
What's going on, sir?
I'll explain that in a second, okay?
Okay.
So you have a warrant for your arrest out of Kenosha.
I didn't know about anything like that.
Okay. Well, that's just why you're in handcuffs right now. Do you have anybody that can come pick up the car?
Well, you guys want to follow me so I can drive it home?
Can't do that now.
Would it be okay if I parked it for you and we could give you the keys back?
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Is that why you guys pulled me over then, or?
You mean you just didn't use your turn signal in front of me?
All right, I have a lawyer too. Do I need to get my lawyer, or what's the scoop?
It's up to you. I'm not asking you any questions right now. You're just being detained right now based off of the warrant that you have out of Kenosha.
When the handcuffs click, there is no panic, no outrage. Innocent people usually demand to know why they are being arrested. Roxana simply says, "I didn't know," and immediately pivots to asking who will pick up her car. This isn't confusion, it's cold, hard calculation. She knew this day would come.
All right, I gotta start. When can I start calling my family? Let me know what's going on.
We're making some phone calls quick to see what the whole transportation thing is, if we're just going to take you ours or how it's going to work. So we'll let you know. Worst case, if you don't make any right now, you can make someone to get to the jail with the phone call or phones from there, okay?
Right.
It might not just be from your cell phone.
They'll let me make more than one phone call. I know you said.
Yeah, you're allowed, I think, 3 within the first 3 hours.
Roxana wasn't acting alone. Detectives knew exactly who pulled the trigger.
Hi, John.
Hello, sir.
Can you step
Can
out,
you step
please?
out for a second? You put your hands behind your back for me.
John,
Put your palms together.
how you doing, man? Lieutenant Paulson with the Coast County Sheriff's Office. You're under arrest. We got a warrant for your arrest, okay? You have any questions right now?
No.
You know what it's for?
Well, you guys called me.
Yeah, so what let me just...
Did you push my glasses up?
Yeah, you get...
All right.
So, you got a warrant for... You know what you got a warrant for.
Yeah.
So, this is what I'd like to do. Okay? Just hear me out, okay? If you're going to cooperate, or, we can handcuff you in front once we get over there, okay?
I'm not even doing
Yeah,
it.
I understand.
I'm too old for this shit.
I understand.
You know.
Hear me out.
On that same day, police arrested 70-year-old John Viskocil. one of David's close friends and neighbors. The contrast between his arrest and Roxana's is striking. John doesn't play dumb. He is calm, compliant, and visibly resigned. When asked to cooperate, he simply says, "I'm too old for this shit." And for the first time in more than 2 decades, the people accused of killing David Vanderzee found themselves facing criminal prosecution.
I'll kind of tell you where I'm at with this. And then you can, if you want to fill in the blanks or tell me I'm wrong or whatever, we'll go from there, okay?
I'd rather just call my lawyer.
Okay, well, that's you have that choice too.
Because I tried talking to you guys and you can't ever stop.
So he's going to take you down there, and then we're going to talk to you when we get down there, okay?
Okay. What do you want me to do? No, nothing. He's going to help me.
To understand why detectives believed they had finally identified David's killers, we need to go back to the night when the case began, back to September of 2003, when investigators first arrived at a murder scene that would remain unsolved for more than 22 years. September 22nd, 2003, town of Randall, Wisconsin. 50-year-old Navy veteran David Vanderzee was winding down in his own home. He had been married to Roxana for just 2 months. That night, David was shot 5 times in the back of the head at close range. He was home alone. At some point, the killer entered the house without triggering an alarm or raising suspicion. There was no struggle because David likely knew the person who had come inside. As investigators began piecing together David's final hours, they naturally focused on the people closest to him. One of those people was his wife, Roxanne Collins. The couple had only been married for about 2 months when the murder occurred. Understandably, detectives wanted to know if she had any idea who could have wanted David dead. Roxanne told investigators that she didn't know. She suggested that perhaps an unknown intruder had entered the home and killed her husband. Meanwhile, detectives also spoke with John Viskocil. John claimed he wasn't anywhere near the crime scene. According to him, he had spent the evening fishing alone. For over 2 decades, those lies were just strong enough to keep them out of prison. But one thing was already clear. This was no ordinary homicide. Someone had wanted David Vanderzee dead, and they had gone to great lengths to make sure he never walked out of that house alive. Back in the present, detectives put Roxana in the interrogation room. This is where the psychological warfare begins.
What do you think the warrant's for?
Probably to ask me questions about,
Well,
it's,
okay. Well, I'm not going to ask you, I know you said you want your lawyer, but if you want me to explain what's going on, I can do that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. So if you want me to explain what's going on, you got to at least acknowledge that you're okay with me explaining that to you.
Okay.
Just so you know that.
Okay, you can explain it.
Okay. This is what we got. You have a warrant for your arrest. It's for first-degree intentional homicide. Party to a crime for the murder of David. Okay.
Watch her body language. The detective drops the ultimate bomb. She is charged with murdering her husband. Most people would break down. Roxana barely blinks.
So, we've been working on this for 22 years. I've been on this case since 2012. And then I'm sure you remember we just talked to you, 4 or 5 weeks ago? So, we've done a lot of work on this case. I mean, it's been a marathon. But this is not just a warrant just to question you. A judge has signed it saying there's enough probable cause to state that you are involved in an first-degree intentional homicide. Your husband. So. It's time. It's time. I'm going to be honest with you. I want you to understand. I'm not asking you questions. I'm just going to tell you. It's time. This has gone on for 22 years. The evidence is clear that you were involved in this, or at a very, very minimum, you know what happened, okay? There's no other theory to this case. There's no other theory to what happened to David. We have gone over this case over and over. We examined all the evidence. We've examined all your statements.
I want to talk to my lawyer.
Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, but I want you to hear me, though, before we're done talking. Okay, I want you to really think about this, because apparently you didn't listen to me when I talked to you
After 22 years, guilt and innocence can both sound calm. Notice how she immediately throws up a stone wall. "I want to talk to my lawyer." That's the rational response. But what stood out was how she never sounded surprised by the accusation itself. She seemed more concerned with the process than the reason she was being arrested.
I can try to sympathize with you in your situation, with your husband right now especially. You're 70 years old.
It's awful right now.
No, I can understand that, okay? So hear me out. I want you I'm going to leave you with this, because this is exactly how I left you about 4 or 5 Saturdays ago. I understand that your husband has that's a nasty disease. That's a nasty, and I can only imagine how hard it is to try to take care.
The detective tries multiple tactics to break her. He tries empathy, bringing up her current husband's illness. He tries to present a mountain of evidence, but she gives them absolutely nothing. And the most chilling moment? When Roxana tries to play the victim.
Okay. Well, first I'm going to talk to my lawyer, see what he advises.
Okay.
I mean, innocent people go to jail all the time, and I'm sorry, I'm scared. So I'm like, I've got a lot in my life I've got to worry about right now.
I understand.
So that's all I'm saying. I just want to talk to my lawyer.
She is weaponizing her age and supposed frailty, but the detective shuts it down immediately, making it clear that a judge signed off on a probable cause warrant for murder. This wasn't a guess, they had the facts. Detectives even tried to play the classic prisoner's dilemma in the interrogation room with Roxana.
First person who talks.
What? First
the
gold ring or what?
What's that? Well, no, the first person who talks is going to get significant consideration. I'm serious. We're not talking, like I said, we're not talking about it. You know, you're not 30 years old, and this is 22 years ago. You're 70 years old. I mean, you're not. We talked about this the day, you know, when we talked to you at your house.
I know.
I'm really trying to. I'm trying to understand your situation and trying to work with you, and but I can't. My hands are kind of tied because you're not giving us much.
There's nothing to give you. I don't know how much more I can tell you.
Well, I don't believe that, and you know that's not true.
They wanted to see who would flip first, but both of these 70-year-old suspects held their ground, refusing to confess to a crime they buried 2 decades ago. So, if neither of them confessed, and there was no magic DNA evidence, how did a 22-year-old perfect crime fall apart? It was a series of fatal, human mistakes. For more than 2 decades, according to prosecutors, David's murder wasn't the work of a random intruder. It wasn't a robbery, and it wasn't a crime committed by a stranger. Instead, prosecutors would eventually allege that the murder began with a secret relationship. Behind David's back, Roxanne Collins and John Viskocil were allegedly involved in an affair. Phone records revealed a flurry of secret calls between Roxana and John on the day of the execution. At the same time, investigators broke the alibi. John's ex-girlfriend finally admitted he didn't accidentally fall into the water while fishing. He used that excuse because his clothes were soaking wet and smelled heavily of bleach. And Roxana's own mouth also betrayed her. On the night of the murder, she told neighbors David had been shot long before the police even processed the scene or released the cause of death, a detail only the killer, or the mastermind, would know. To experienced homicide detectives, that was a major red flag. It raised a simple but important question. How did she know details about the murder before those details were known to the public? The case was presented to prosecutors. The evidence was reviewed, and eventually, a judge approved arrest warrants for both suspects.
Court will vacate any warrant. Mr. Solis has a bond.
Your Honor, we're asking for a $1 million cash bond on this case. This case is a first-degree intentional homicide. It is a cold case or a dated case back from 2003. This case involves 2 individuals. The other individual is already in custody down in Illinois, and we're hoping to have her here on Monday. In this case, the victim was shot 5 or 6 times in the face with a .38 or a .357 caliber firearm. So we're asking for a $1 million cash bond.
Any prior record?
On August 13th, 2025, Roxanne Collins and John Viskocil each faced charges of first-degree intentional homicide, party to a crime, and use of a dangerous weapon. Bail was set at a staggering $500,000 each. Roxana managed to post her bond in cash and was released, while John remains behind bars in Kenosha County. A court has already determined that there is sufficient probable cause for the case to proceed toward trial. However, as of 2026, neither defendant has been convicted, and both continue to deny involvement in the murder. If prosecutors ultimately prove their case, both defendants could face mandatory life sentences under Wisconsin law. But regardless of how the jury eventually rules, the case stands as a reminder that some investigations never truly end. Roxanne Collins might not have pulled the trigger, but she orchestrated the death of the man she had just married. For 22 years, she thought she got away with it. But justice, no matter how cold the case gets, never forgets.